Hi, it's Jason here and welcome to another On Your Yoga Mat video. Really special video for you today. This is going to be the Ashtanga Yoga Primary Series, but it is a video on how to link this up to the charts that you can see behind me here. That's actually printed out in a frame or kind of look like that. Now these charts, lots of different teachers have produced them. They're very similar, but my experience of using these and helping people learn this Ashtanga Yoga sequence is that the beginning, the sun citations are really super clear. You can see each movement, each picture moving through, get the A sun citations, get the B sun citations. But then when you come to the standing postures and beyond, there's actually lots of movements in between which aren't on this chart. And the reason for that is that it would just be like a book if you were going to put all of the movements in between. So these are just the key postures, okay, for 5 breaths normally each. But this video is myself moving through the Ashtanga Yoga sequence on the screen with the chart behind me, and it kind of lights up as where we are. So the focus of this is for me to explain how this works, because a lot of the pictorials are just one side. There's no reason to kind of have double the amount just to do the left side, but that's not always clear. It's challenging enough to get through this series. It takes about, in this video, about an hour and 15 minutes, and to memorize that all from scratch. But over time you will do that. But you often see, and here's a smaller one, look, this is just an A4 size, just to have that down on your mat, just as a little, this is the next posture, I see this one comes next. But with the knowledge from this video of how to link those postures. This is then not really suitable for beginners. I mean, it's interesting to watch the video and see how it all syncs up if you are kind of interested in this, but there's plenty more videos. I think you can click up here somewhere for a link or in the description below for details of more videos on the website. And you know, as always, just take it really steady. If you've got any concerns about this physical practice, it's worth always just checking with a doctor, you know, just to make sure this is going to be suitable for you. And this video is just more about this explanation. So I'm going to give you a few options for alternatives and variations in the postures, but mainly just getting through it. So if you want to check out other videos and kind of have a few more options of a slightly easier yoga practice, plenty there. And finally, just before we begin, notice this one behind me is in a frame. It's A1 size, so it's pretty big, and it looks amazing on the wall because I'm actually selling these really high quality yoga prints. So again, details below of how to, if you're in the UK, get one of these from my Etsy shop. But just released actually on the website is the ability to download and then print this out. And actually it looks kind of pretty cool on an iPad, although you might not be able to see that very well, or a device on the floor. So you can kind of decide how you want to kind of approach this and print this out if you just want the digital download. It's a really high quality file and super easy to purchase one of those. Great value, just the price of a couple of cups of coffee. And I got through a fair amount of that making this poster up in the first place in this video, but it was really good fun. I really hope you enjoyed. If you do like the video, please give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and I really look forward to seeing you next time on Your Yoga Mat. Okay, have a great day. Ready to begin then. Standing in Samastiti, this is the top of the chart. We're at the front of the mat, our feet are together, hands in prayer position, we're breathing steadily, and we're ready for the opening mantra. So we're moving along. You can follow this through. Om Vande Gurunam Charanadavinde Sandarashita Swatma Sukhavabode Nishrayase Jangali Kayamane Samsala Hala Hala Moha Shantiye Abahu Purushakaram Shankachakrazi Dharnam Sahasra Shirsam Shvetam Pranamami Patanjalim Om. So hands by sides now, moving along for 5 Surya Namaskar A. So just do whatever feels appropriate, breathing easily as we inhale the arms up, look up to thumbs. Exhale, we're folding down, just let the head go. Inhale, stay low, gaze up. Exhale, step or hop back, lowering down. Inhale to upward facing dog. And it's an exhale, pushing back to downward facing dog. And we're going to be here for 5 steady breaths. So that's one breath, just easing our way into this practice. 2. Just keep the face nice and relaxed. 3. Each of these counts, inhale through the nose, followed by an exhale through the nose. So that's 4. And one more breath here is 5. With an inhale, step or jump back to the front of the mat and lift the gaze up. Exhale, forward bend, head down gently. Inhale, final movement, arms up, looking up to thumbs. And then exhale, hands by sides. And then we go all the way back to the beginning. Inhale for the second one, arms up. Exhale, folding forwards. Inhale here, lift the gaze up. Chaturanga is jumping or stepping back and lowering down. Inhale, upward facing dog here. And then exhale, hips up and back, downward facing dog. That's one breath. Again, 5 breaths here. Try and hold the posture as steady as you can. 2. Just keep the legs gently working, the heels reaching for the ground behind you. 3. Soften the gaze back. 4 breaths. Smooth breath in through the nose. Smooth breath out through the nose is 5. With an inhale, jumping or stepping to the front of the mat, feet together, gaze up. Exhale, folding down. Inhale, take the arms up. Gently press the palms together, look up. Exhale, Samastiti is neutral, hands by sides. So for the third one, back to the beginning of the line is inhale, arms up. Exhale, folding down. Inhale, stay low, lift the gaze up. Exhale and jump or step back, feet a little way apart now as you lower down. The inhale is the upward facing dog and the exhale is the downward facing dog. Just let the head hang. It's one breath. Keep the mouth gently closed as you inhale through the nose and exhale through the nose is 2. 3. Keep the fingers pressing into the mat behind your head. 4. 5. Inhale, try and keep looking forwards as you jump to the front of the mat, feet close, head up. Exhale, folding down. Inhale, arms up, gazing up to your thumbs. Samastiti here is neutral. And then inhale for the fourth one, arms up. Exhale, this is Uttanasana A position, head down. Uttanasana B position, head up. Exhale, it's Chaturanga Dandasana, jump or step back, lower down. And then Urdhva Mukha Shavasana is upward facing dog, and Adho Mukha Savasana, downward facing dog. We're here again for 5 breaths, so that's 1, 2, try and keep the toes pressing into the mat, 3, fingers pressing down behind your head, 4, keeping the breath as steady as you can, face relaxed, 5, with an inhale we're jumping back through to the front of the mat, Uttanasana B, head up, and then Uttanasana A as we exhale. And it's Urdhva Hastasana as we inhale, arms up, and exhale, Samastiti. Now in this last one, we're going to use the Sanskrit numbers underneath each posture to count this Surya Namaskar through. So Ekam 1, inhale, arms up. Dve is 2, folding down. Trini, the third movement, head up, staying low. Chaturanga is 4, jump or step back and lower down. Pancha is 5, the upward facing dog. And Shat is number 6, pushing back, down facing dog. And then we pause here with the count as we breathe 5 times. So that's 1. Try and keep the face nice and relaxed. 2. Nice easy breath in through the nose. Out through the nose is 3. Feel like you're moving your chest back towards your toes. 4. Keep breathing. Is 5. Now Supta is 7. Inhale, jumping through to the front of the mat, head up. Ashto is 8. Exhale, folding down. And Nava, the last movement, inhale, arms up. And then Samastiti here, hands by sides. Now we're moving to the next line down on the chart. And this is Surya Namaskar B, 3 of these. So we bend the knees, inhale the arms up and look up. And then we exhale, you can straighten the legs a little bit as you fold forwards. As before, inhale, head up. Exhale, jump or step back, lowering down. It's the inhale, upward facing dog. And it's the exhale, the down facing dog. But we keep moving as we turn our left foot in. The right foot steps through, bend the knee, inhale, arms up. This is warrior on the right side. Exhale, straight back down and lower. We inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. We then turn our right foot in. So the left leg steps through, we bend the knee, inhale, arms up. Exhale, the hands down, stay low as you can as you lower. Inhale, upward facing dog. And then here, the exhale, downward facing dog is where we pause for the 5 breaths in this longer second sun salutation. So that's 1 breath. And that's 2. Just take it nice and steady here. Just settle in for 3 breaths. 4. Smooth breath in through the nose. Smooth breath out through the nose. Is 5. Then we step or jump through to the front of the mat. Lift the gaze up. Exhale, fall down. Forward bend. And finishing the way we started, bend the knees into Utkatasana, inhale, arms up to look up, and then we stand up tall, hands by sides. Ready for 2 more. This is the entire second line on the chart. Bend the knees, inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, head up, staying low. Exhale, hands flat to jump or step back and lower down. Inhale is the upward facing dog, press back into the toes. Exhale, all the way back downward facing dog. The right foot steps through, bend the knee, inhale the arms up to look up. Exhale, hands down, step back and lower. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale all the way back, downward facing dog. Ready for the left leg to step through. Strong back right leg, inhale, arms up. Look up. Exhale, hands down. Try and keep the hands flat as you step back and lower. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. And we're here for 5 breaths. So that's 1. Again, trying to feel like you're moving your chest back towards your toes. It's 2. Relax the neck, relax the shoulders is 3. Keep the heels moving towards the mat behind you is 4. And 5 breaths. Inhale, jumping or stepping through to the front, head up. Exhale, head down. Bend the knees, sink down, inhale the arms up, full breath, look up. Exhale, back to Samastiti, neutral. And on this last one again, for Surya Namaskar B, there are 17 movements. So those Sanskrit numbers, Ekam 1, bend the knees, inhale, arms up. Dve is 2, exhale, forward bend. Trini, the 3rd movement, inhale, head up. Chatwari is 4, jump or step back and lower down. Pancha 5, the upward facing dog. Shat, exhale, down facing dog. We keep moving. Supta, right leg steps through, inhale, arms up. Ashto, exhale, lowering down. Nava, inhale, upward facing dog. Desha, exhale, downward facing dog. Ekadasha, left leg steps through, inhale, arms up, full breath. Dwadasha is 12, exhale, lowering down. Triodhasha, 13, upward facing dog. And Chaturdarsha is 14, where we hold our downward facing dog for 5 breaths. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Panchadasha, jumping or stepping to the front of the mat, head up. Shodasha, exhale, folding down. And Saptadasha, bend the knees, inhale, arms up, before returning to Samasthiti. Now on to the next line for the fundamental standing postures. So each breath is linked with the movement. 5 breaths in each posture. Padangusthasana is first separating the feet, reaching down for big toes, inhale, lift the gaze up. And then as we exhale into the posture, it's too intense with straight legs, of course, just soften the knees slightly. 1 breath. 2. Just let the head be relaxed, keep the hips lifting up. 3. 4. 5. Now we inhale, head up here. Exhale, the hands underneath the feet. A little bit further to go for Padahastasana. Inhale, head up again to prepare. And then exhale down into Padahastasana, hand to feet posture. That's 1 breath. Just keep the neck nice and long. 2. In this posture guide, we're obviously in the full posture here. Don't worry if you're not doing exactly the same. That's 3 breaths. You can bend the knees. You don't need to be reaching down as far. That's 4. And 5 breaths. Inhale, head up to come out of the posture. Exhale there. Coming up as we inhale. Feet together, hands by sides. Now for Utthita Trikonasana, we're stepping out to the right foot to the back of the mat. That right hand reaching back and down to pick up the big toe if possible, and then to look up to the hand. So 5 breaths here. That's 1 breath. That's 2. So for this posture, obviously, we look very similar to the diagram. That's 3. 4. 5. So we inhale, come up, but for the left side, we turn the left foot to the front, the right foot turns in. So switching sides, left hand down for big toe, and twist to look up to right hand. That's 1 breath. But we're still on Utthita Trikonasana, so we're doing both sides here. 2. So now this obviously doesn't look exactly the same. 3. So most of the pictures on the poster are the right side of the postures. And that's 4. And 5. So we inhale, come up, parallel feet. Then moving into Pavarita Trikonasana. So right foot facing the back, if possible, left hand down and right arm up. That's 1 breath. Nice strong back, left leg. And again, don't worry if you're not doing exactly the same here. 2. But you can see in the practice I'm doing that it looks very similar because this is the right side of the posture. 3. 4. And 5. Then we inhale, come up, turn to face the front of the mat, left foot to the front, right foot turns in, and we twist the opposite way with that right hand down and that left arm up. But we're still on Pavarita Trikonasana. We're just on the left side now. That's 1 breath. It's 2. 3. 4. After 5 breaths, exhale, look down. Inhale, come up to the side, feet parallel, lift the arms, and then turning back to the front of the mat, feet together, hands by sides, Samasthiti. Ready for Utthita Parsvakonasana. So it's a wider step out to the right foot to the back, bend right knee, left leg straight, right hand down, and left arm up and over, and if possible, looking to see your fingertips. That's 1 breath. And that's 2. 3. 4, 5. So we inhale, come up, left foot to the front now, the left knee bends, right leg straight, left hand down, and the right arm up and over. And that's 1 breath. So now with the mirror image of the poster for the left side of Utthita Parsvakonasana. 2. That's 3 breaths. 4. And 5. Inhale, coming up. So challenging posture is Pavrita Parsvakonasana. So right foot facing the back, right knee bends. If it's possible, get that left arm on the outside, and then that right arm coming up and over, and doing the best you can to keep that back leg straight. It's 1 breath. Could be in the lunge here. 2 with that back leg if that feels appropriate. 3, and another modification is just to have your hands in prayer position here. 4, but this is the right side of Pavrita Parsvakonasana. That's 5 breaths. Then we inhale, come up, and we square up to the front of the mat, bending that left knee, doing the best we can to twist across, right hand eventually down on the ground, left arm up and over, strong back right leg. It's 1 breath. 2, eventually you are gazing to the fingertips, but if you prefer, you can have your hands in prayer position here. Is 3, 4, and 5. Inhale, coming up to the side, feet parallel, give the arms a nice lift out, relax the shoulders, and exhale. So we come back to Samastitihi, front of the mat, feet together, before we straight away step out to the right, nice and wide, hands on the waist, lift the chest. Exhale, hands down towards the mat, flat if possible. We actually inhale again here, head up. And then as we exhale, head down into Prasarita Padottanasana A for 5 breaths. That's 1, 2, 3. Try and keep the breath steady as you can. Just let the head hang. 4. Keep the toes pressing into the mat. 5. So we inhale, come up halfway, head up. Exhale there. Hands back onto the waist as you inhale, come up to standing between each of these. For the B position, we inhale the arms straight out to the side. Exhale them back onto the waist and keep them there. Inhale, lift the chest. And then we exhale straight down into Prasarita Padottanasana B position for 1 breath. Try and feel like the hips are lifting up. 2, as the head reaches down for the ground. 3, keep the legs nice and strong. 4, breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. 5, inhale steadily all the way back up to standing and exhale there. For C, inhale the arms out to the side. Exhale, interlace fingers behind the back. Keep the arms nice and straight, keep lifting the chest. And exhale all the way down into Prasarita Padottanasana C, with the arms coming back down towards the ground behind the head. It's 1 breath. 2, just keep the shoulders relaxed, don't overstretch. 3, 4, 5. Inhale, coming all the way up to standing. Exhale there. And the D position, hands on the waist, inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, folding down to eventually take hold of the big toes with 2 fingers. We again inhale, head up here, before exhaling down into Prasarita Padottanasana D for 1 breath. Gently lift up on the big toes if you're holding on. 2, if that's too far, just take your hands down the legs somewhere, no problem for any modification in any of these postures. 3, the breath is the most important thing. 4, with the face relaxed at all times. 5, inhale, head up. Exhale there. Hands onto the waist as you inhale, come up to standing. And then exhale, Samastitihi, front of the mat, feet together, hands by side. Ready for Parsvakonasana. hands in reverse prayer if possible behind your back as you turn and square up to the back of your mat. So the right side first, and exhale, folding down over that right leg is one breath. So you notice that we are facing the back of the mat, even though the pectoral here is facing forwards. That's 2 breaths, but we're on the right side here. 3. And you could just hold the arms behind the back if that feels more appropriate. 4. And 5. And then we come up, inhale, turn to square up to the front of the mat over the left leg, the left side, and exhale, folding down, gaze into toes, keeping that back right leg nice and strong is 1. 2. 3. So even though it looks similar to the picture, we're actually on the left side here. 4. But it says underneath both sides, so hopefully that's clear. 5. Then we inhale, come up to the side, feet parallel, and then back to the front, Samastitihi. Now there's a few options from this point onwards, but we are just doing the primary postures. So we are ready then to move on to the next line down for Utthita Hasta Padangusthasana. So we prepare by lifting that right leg up and then folding forwards for the full posture for 5 breaths is 1. 2. Modify this if you need to, no problem. 3. 4. 5. Inhale up to standing here and exhale, taking that leg out to the right and if possible looking over left shoulder. So this is B position for 1. 2. If it's too much to reach for the foot, just hold up underneath the knee is 3. 4. 5. Then we inhale back to center. Exhale, fall forwards. This isn't on the sheet, but we inhale, stand up nice and tall, and this is displayed as the C position. 1 breath. So a few extra movements here between these pectorals. 2, 3, both hands on the waist. Keep lifting that right leg. 4 and 5 breaths. And then to switch for the left side. So the left leg lifts, if possible, take hold of the big toe, and then folding forwards. This is A position for 5 breaths. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, stand up nice and tall. The B position here is taking the leg out to the left. So this is going to look like a mirror image as we look over our right shoulder for 1, 2, 3. Just try and keep the balance. 4. As best you can. 5. Inhale back to center. There's an extra exhale if you can fold in a little bit here. But then we stand up nice and tall into the C position. 1 breath. So on the left side, it's that left leg lifted with the toes pointing. 2, keep that right leg nice and strong. 3, keep breathing. 4, 5, exhale. Releasing left leg down, Samastitihi, feet together, hands by sides. Moving on to Ardha Baddha Padmottanasana. So straight into it. This is half bound lotus on the right side. That right leg in half lotus as you reach around, bind, and then left hand down, folding forwards for the full posture is 1 breath. But this is a challenging posture. So a modification might be tree posture. That's 2. Just be very, very careful with that right knee wherever you are. And 3 and 4, 5. So we inhale, head up, exhale there for a breath, just soften that left knee. Inhale up to standing and releasing that right leg down, ready to switch sides. But we stay on the same picture here, but the left leg into half lotus or tree posture if that's more appropriate for you. If you can bind, then you can take that right hand down towards the ground and let the head just go down. It's 1 breath. Just be very, very gentle with your left knee. 2, 3, and 4, 5. Inhale, head up. Exhale, just soften that right knee. Inhale all the way up before releasing your left leg down. Feet together, hands by sides. Now, inhale, arms up. Exhale, we're moving through a vinyasa to get to Utkatasana. Inhale, head up. So none of this on the chart. So this is moving through, jump or step back. Very similar to the A sensation, lowering down. We just do a breath for upward facing dog. We push back just for one breath, downward facing dog. And then inhale, jump or step through. And this is Utkatasana. There you see it. Bend the knees, inhale, arms up. 5 breaths is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we fold forwards. There's actually a lift here. So inhale, you can lift up if you can, and then jump or step back. No problem, just a step back there. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. A little bit like the second sun citation. Left foot turns in, right foot steps through, bend the knee. Inhale, arms up. And this is Warrior A. So we're holding it for 5 breaths. So that's 1. Nice strong back leg is 2. 3, 4. After 5 breaths, we turn to the left foot to the back, bend the left knee, strong back right leg, and keep looking up is 1. So now again, looking like the mirror image of the picture there. It's 2, 3, 4. And after 5 breaths, we stay on the left side, so that left knee bent for Virabhadrasana B. That's 1, 2, but we're facing the back of the mat. 3, keep that right leg nice and strong. 4, and 5. The last standing posture, turning that left foot in, right foot to the front. So we finish with Virabhadrasana B on the right side. That's 1, 2. There's a little note underneath that pictorial saying left side first. That's 3, 4, 5. And this is the rest of the vinyasa. So falling down, if we can do a little lift up, we might be able to do that before jumping or stepping back. Moving through an upward facing dog, and then a downward facing dog, and then jumping or stepping through. Actually, to Dandasana, when we count this through, often the instruction is Paschimottanasana, but Dandasana with the hands by the side, sitting up nice and tall, chin tucked down for 1 breath. This is the preparation. 2, so this is a continuation of the primary series postures. That's 3 breaths, but now seated. 4, 5. Now from here, simply reaching forward, eventually for big toes, lift the gaze up, and then exhale, falling forward. Paschimottanasana is the forward bend for 1. If the big toes are too far away, just hold on to the shins or the ankles. 2, try and keep the legs nice and active. 3, the gaze slightly lifted up to see the toes if possible. 4, 5. And then we inhale, head up, ready for Paschimottanasana B position. So there's a little bit further to go if you wish. You can reach round the feet or hold on to the sides of the feet. Lift the gaze up before you exhale, falling down. That's 1 breath. 2. Make sure you feel comfortable here. No stress anywhere. 3. Make sure you don't strain or pull on the hamstrings. 4. And 5. And then inhale, head up. And you can see now it says start to take vinyasa. And this vinyasa movement is the inhale up, lift up, jump or step back, lower down. We do an inhale, upward facing dog. None of this is displayed at this point. Exhale, downward facing dog. A little bit like the first sun citation. But we just jump straight through to sitting. And then we're ready for the next posture, which is Purvottanasana. So the hands go behind and we lift up and take the head back if possible. It's 1 breath, but you can keep the chin tucked in if you prefer. It's 2. Try and keep the legs nice and strong. 3. Steady breathing as best you can. 4. And 5. And then we exhale, come down. And again, another vinyasa. So we lift up, jump or step back, lowering down as we exhale. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. And then coming through for the next posture, Ardha Baddha Padma Paschimottanasana. And underneath these next series of postures, it's both sides. So we can see the right side displayed. So eventually that right leg in half lotus, reaching around, taking left foot. Inhale, head up before you exhale down into each of these postures. 1. Now, if that's too much to have that right leg in half lotus for 2 breaths, you could just have your foot on the inside of that left leg. Is 3. Just be very gentle with that right knee. 4. 5. Inhale, head up. Exhale, release. Now, there is a vinyasa here. Inhale up. Exhale, jump or step back to move through upward facing dog. And then push back to down facing dog. But you could, if you wanted to, just switch sides because we're coming through for the left side of the posture now. So it's the same pictorial, but it's the left foot into half lotus and reaching around if possible. Right hand for right foot, lift the chest before you exhale, fold forwards. And that's 1 breath. And again, on the left side, being very, very gentle with your left knee is 2. So if you need to modify this posture, you can. 3. 4, eventually the gaze into the toes, but just keep the neck relaxed. 5, inhale, head up, looking to the toes. Exhale, release, across the ankles, lifting up if possible, and then moving through the vinyasa, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. And then coming through for Tirang Mukha Ekapada Paschimottanasana. So the right leg falls back, straight left leg, reaching forward to lift the chest and folding down. These are all forward bends for 1 breath. Just be gentle with your right knee. 2, if it feels intense, just move the knee away from the left leg. 3, 4, 5. Full breath as you inhale, lift up. Exhale there. Lifting up from there. And jumping or stepping back. Remember, you could just be switching sides at this point. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog for the vinyasa in between to jump or step through for the left side. So the left leg falls back, right leg straight, reaching forwards, lift the chest, and exhale. So same posture, and you can see underneath it says both sides. So this is the left side for 1 breath. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Inhale, head up. Keep looking to the toes. Exhale there. Lifting up from wherever you are to jump or step back and lower down to move through an upward facing dog and a down facing dog. We're sliding along to our next posture, Janu Shirshasana. This is the A position. So jump or step through. And it's the sole of that right foot on the inside of left leg, reaching forwards for the left foot to lift the chest first and exhale, fall down. That's 1 breath. 2. If you can go a little bit further, that's 3 breaths. You could actually hold your wrist with 1 hand. 4, but don't overstretch. Just be happy wherever you are. Keep breathing. 5. Inhale, head up. Exhale there. Crossing ankles, lifting up, whatever it takes to jump, step back, moving through upward facing dog, downward facing dog, and then jumping or stepping through for the left side. So we're still on Janu Shirshasana A. This is both sides, so the left side, sole of left foot on the inside of right leg, reaching forward to lift the chest first and then exhaling into the posture. 1 breath. 2, 3, 4, and you can see the gaze point there is the toes. For 5 breaths. Inhale, head up, still looking to the toes. Exhale, release. Crossing the ankles, hands flat to jump or step back, moving through upward facing dog, and then exhaling all the way back to down facing dog. Jumping or stepping through for Janu Shirshasana B position. So you can move into the A initially, but then you're actually going to lift up and sit on that right foot and reaching forward for left foot to exhale forward into the posture. That's 1 breath. 2, 3. That right knee is coming a little bit. 4, but make sure it doesn't come too close to that left leg if possible. 5. Inhale, head up, full breath. Exhale there. And then if you're moving through the vinyasa between sides, you're jumping or stepping back to move through an upward facing dog and a down facing dog. But an option is just to switch sides to begin with. Inhale, jumping or stepping through, and then working towards doing all of these vinyasas. Sitting on left heel, try and keep those left toes pointing forwards as best you can. Reaching for the right foot as you lift the chest and then fold forwards. It's 1, 2, so we're on the left side of Janushasana B here. 3, 4, as always, steady breathing. 5, inhale, head up, exhale there, crossing ankles, inhale up, exhale, jump on and stepping back, upward facing dog, full breath, press back into the toes, all the way back to down facing dog. And then Janushasana C position. So jumping through, straightening the legs, and then toes down of that right foot, heel up. Just be very gentle with that right knee. The knee moves in a little bit further again, reaching for left foot with the hands, and then folding down forwards. 1. Eventually reaching beyond the foot, but be happy if you're just reaching for the toes. It's 2, 3, 4, just keep scanning through the body, making sure everything feels okay. 5, inhale, head up, exhale there, crossing ankles, releasing that foot to jump or step back and lower down. Inhale, upward facing dog, exhale, downward facing dog. Jumping or stepping through, so we are the left side now of Janushasana, so this is kind of the mirror image of the pictorial there, as we know. For this second side, reaching forwards with the left toes down, heel up and falling forward, but be very gentle with that left knee for 1 breath. Modify any of these postures as much as you feel you need to. 2, 3, does feel quite relentless, this section of this seated postures. 4, 5, inhale, head up, looking to the toes still. Exhale, release. Releasing that left leg and crossing ankles to jump or step back and lower down. So we do an inhale, upward facing dog for a full breath. Exhale all the way back, down facing dog for full breath. And now we're on to the Marichasanas. So the A positions we jump or step through is to have that right foot flat on the ground with the knee bent, reaching back and round, taking the bind if possible. Inhale, lift the chest, and exhale, falling forwards over that straight left leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, possible just lifting the gaze to see those left toes. 5, inhale, head up, exhale there, releasing. You can lift up from there if possible, if not, just whatever feels appropriate to move through the vinyasa. Upward facing dog as you breathe in, exhale, down facing dog, or of course the option just to switch sides. We are now coming through for the left side of Marichasana A, so the right leg is straight and that left knee is bent with that left foot down, reaching around the knee if possible, taking the bind, and then exhale, folding forwards. 1 breath. Try and feel the arms pulling gently backwards and the head moving towards the foot. Is 2, just gazing softly to the toes. 3, keep the right leg nice and strong. 4, easy breathing, guiding you as to how far to go into each posture. Is 5, inhale, head up, exhale fully. You could lift up from there and jump or step back, or just unravel and go back. But we're moving through an upward facing dog as part of the vinyasa, a downward facing dog, exhale fully. Marichasana B is up next. Similar movement, but we either have that left foot in half lotus, bending the right knee, but if it's too much half lotus, just put the foot on the floor and reach around either way to lift the chest, and exhale, folding forwards. 5 breaths here. 1, so just be very careful with that left knee if it's in half lotus. Is 2, 3, eventually chin down towards the mat. 4, 5 breaths. Inhale, head up, exhale there. We're going to lift up from there and jump or step back to move through an upward facing dog. Then all the way back to a down facing dog. We're jumping or stepping through for the left side, so still on Marachasana B, but the opposite side now. That means the right foot could be in half lotus, or just keep that right foot on the floor, bend left knee, reach round, bind if possible, and then exhale, falling forwards. 1. On these more challenging postures, that's 2 breaths. Just take a few breaths to get into it if you need to. 3, don't rush. Just take it steady. 4, or you might be doing a modification here. 5, inhale, head up, exhale, release. Inhale, lifting up from wherever you are, possible to jump or step back. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, down facing dog. As we're doing that vinyasa, we're moving along to the next line down on the chart here for Marachasana C. Same leg position as A, right knee bend, foot on the floor, binding, reaching round, but twisting this time, looking back behind us. That's 1 breath. If you can't bind, that's no problem. Just you could even draw that right knee into the chest. It's 2. Try and keep that left leg nice and strong. 3. Easy breathing. 4. Try and keep sitting up nice and tall. Keep that left leg working. 5. Inhale, face the front. Exhale, releasing, crossing ankles. If you're moving through the vinyasa between sides, jumping or stepping back, lowering down. Moving through upward facing dog. Exhale, down facing dog. Still on Marachasana C. See underneath it says both sides. So this is the left side. So the right leg is straight. Everything opposite on the pictorial there. The left knee is bent, wrapping around if possible. You can see a little bit clearer on this side what's going on behind there. And twisting to the left is 1 breath. If you can't reach around, just simply hug your left knee to the chest is 2. You might even have that left hand on the ground behind you for support. 3. 4, just make sure you can breathe easily, especially when we twist. 5, inhale, facing the front, crossing ankles, hands flat to lift up, or flick the hands forward to step back, moving through an upward facing dog and a downward facing dog. So moving into the more challenging Marachasana D. It's the same twist as you jump or step through, but with that left leg in half lotus first, then bending the right knee. But that left foot could just go on the ground if you prefer. Challenge is to still bind, reach round and twist to the right. That's 1 breath. So the full posture here, but do feel free to modify. 2, you might even just repeat Marachasana C. 3, try and sit up tall as you inhale. Exhale into the twist is 4. 5, inhale once you've released legs and crossed ankles to lift up. Exhale to jump or step back, lowering down. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. And we're still on the Marachasana D posture, but the left side now. So it will be the right leg in half lotus if you're doing that option. Left knee bends, wrapping around that left knee if possible, taking the bind. Eventually taking the wrist, as you can see here, as we twist to the left. That's 1 breath. Takes a little bit of practice to get into these postures though, to as quickly as this, so don't feel you need to rush at all. 3, this is obviously a demonstration of the entire series here. 4 breaths. 5, inhale, lifting up. Exhale, jumping or stepping back. Moving through upward facing dog and down facing dog. Now, that was a series of both sides of a posture for quite a few. Now we're moving through into symmetrical Navasana, exactly as we see in the pictorial here for 5 breaths. Is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What you don't see displayed is this lift up here, exhale back down to do this 5 times, which is 1. Just do the best you can here. You might need to soften the knees slightly. 2, don't strain anything. Just keep breathing. 3, 4, 5. You can vary the way you cross your ankles if you want. Hands flat, inhale, lift up. Don't worry if you're not swinging all the way back. Just do what you can to reset for the 3rd Navasana. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Crossing ankles, hands flat. Don't worry if nothing much is happening. Just make the effort to breathe in as you press down and then exhale and then back into our 4th Navasana for 1. Do the best you can to keep the legs straight. 2, keep sitting up into it. 3, 4, easy breathing. 5, inhale, lifting up. Exhale for the last one. 5 breaths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now from here we inhale, lift up, and then we take the vinyasa. Exhale, jump or step back. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. So this is a preparation for Bhujapadasana. So on the pictorial here, we jump around across the ankles. Just for a breath, lift the head. And then we move along to the posture for 5 breaths. So that's 1. Just do the best you can here. 2, 3, 4. Try and keep the feet off the ground if you can. And after 5 breaths, inhale, lift up. And then we're taking it back to Bakasana just for a breath, so you can see that highlighted there. And then we jump back and move through the vinyasa. So it's inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, down facing dog, sliding along a few more postures because the next one up is Kurmasana. Jump or step through, taking the feet around the arms, and then take the hands behind and start straightening out the legs, pointing the toes, strong legs. And that's 1 breath. So don't worry if you're not as far into it as here. 2, just take it steady. 3, 4, eventually the heels are just off the ground. 5. And there's no vinyasa here, so we're just moving into Supta Kurmasana. So we're trying to get the feet close together, eventually the ankles crossed. And then finally you're seeing if you can take the bind behind you, even if it's just a monkey grip, or you can hold on to something. So just take a little bit of time here to feel comfortable. And then breathe for 1 breath. 2, 3, 4, 5. So we lift up, and the exit is the same as the previous posture, not displayed here, but you can see a couple of postures back as the Bakasana movement, just for a breath, crow. Then we jump or step back and lower down, taking the vinyasa, upward facing dog, downward facing dog, and then moving into Garbha Pindasana, the next posture here. Eventually we're doing this in lotus, putting the hands through the gap in the lotus legs and reaching round for our ears or holding the chin. Take your time. You might just be doing this cross-legged or reaching around your lotus for 1 breath. 2, again, be very gentle with the knees. 3, 4, 5. And then we're rolling here. So wherever you are, you might have a go at rolling. So we inhale up, exhale down, just rolling in a clockwise circle. That's 2 breaths. 3, you might be able to coordinate the counts with the movements. 4, but if you end up taking a few extra rolls, no problem. But after 5 breaths, we inhale up to Kukutasana. So eventually the hands through the lotus legs for 1 breath, but you might have the hands on the outside as 2. Just keep lifting up as best you can. 3, keep breathing. 4 and 5, and exhale coming out of Kukutasana. We are lifting up. We might be able to do that from lotus if possible to move through the vinyasa. Don't worry if not, but we do move through an upward facing dog and a down facing dog. And often shown here is the preparation for Baddha Konasana. So actually sitting up nice and tall with the soles of the feet facing up towards the ceiling, reaching around on the insteps. That's the preparation. And then the exhale takes us into Baddha Konasana A position, folding forwards. It's 1 breath. 2, and the knees over time a little bit closer to the ground. 3, don't force anything. 4, 5. No vinyasa here, but we do sit up nice and tall. And then for the B position, Baddha Konasana B, we curve the head down towards the feet, looking to the nose and breathing. 1, so a rounded spine now. 2, 3, you might feel the elbows on the insides of the legs just to assist with the downward movement of the knees is 4 and 5. Then we inhale, come up, straight back, sitting up nice and tall. Exhale, releasing, lift up from there, or whatever it takes to move through a vinyasa, to upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Jumping or stepping through, this is Upavishta Konasana, where we take the legs wide, toes up towards the ceiling, reaching for the sides of the feet if possible, lift the chest up, and then exhale, falling down. Keep the legs active, If you're not reaching for the feet, maybe just the ankles or the shins will do. It's 1 breath. 2, try and keep lengthening forwards. 3, eventually the chin down on the mat or the ground. 4, easy breathing. 5, inhale, head up, no vinyasa here, but we need to lift up to B position and gazing upwards. 1, try and keep the legs straight as you can. 2, but don't worry if you need to bend the knees a little bit. 3, still holding on to the sides of the feet if possible. 4, 5. Exhale there. Now we do take a vinyasa. This is the fancy way, but whatever it takes to jump or step back, lowering down. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. And then jumping or stepping through. Next posture is Supta Konasana. Basically means sleeping Konasana. So we're doing the same posture upside down. Taking the legs back behind us. Be very gentle and careful of your neck here. With spread legs holding onto the toes. 1 breath. Try and keep the hips lifting up towards the ceiling. 2. Make sure the neck is happy. 3. Keep the legs active. 4. 5. Now, it's not shown here on any of these pictorials, but we inhale, lift up to the B position, and then slowly lower down, taking the head down and forward. So we're briefly in the A position again before we inhale, come up. And then from there, taking the vinyasa, lifting up, jumping or stepping back, lowering down. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Supta Padangusthasana, a little bit like the standing variation where we jump or step through, lie down, left leg stays straight and the right side first. So we're taking the right toes. This is the preparation just for 1 breath. Inhale here. And then we move straight on to the A position, folding up and breathing 5 breaths here. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Extra movement here as we inhale, head down, and then exhale that leg, that right leg out to the side into the B position. 1 breath as you look over your left shoulder away from the leg. 2, 3, 4, 5. And a couple of movements not shown here. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, just fold up for a breath. Inhale, head down. Exhale, releasing that right leg. So you're lying on your back there. And then we repeat all of that. So we prepare the left foot, holding on for a breath, and then immediately moving into the A position on the left side. So that's 1 breath. So you're eventually holding onto your big toe of that left foot, right leg straight. It's 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we inhale the head down and then exhale that leg to the left and looking over your right shoulder for the left side of the posture. It's 1 breath. 2, 3, 4, 5. And extra movements. Inhale back to center. Exhale, fold forward just for a breath. Inhale, head down again. And then exhale, release that left leg down. And whenever we end up finishing a posture lying on our back, the option of rolling back through Chakrasana. This is optional because you could just roll up and take your vinyasa in the usual way. But we do move through upward facing dog and downward facing dog. And the last couple of postures here of this primary series are symmetrical postures. So we see a pictorial for each of the movements. But we do need to lie down first for Ubhaya Padangusthasana. Take the feet back behind us, holding onto the big toes. And this is how we get into it. We now inhale, roll up into, and you can see it lit up there now, Ubhaya Padangusthasana, with the gaze upwards towards the toes. That's 1. Just do the best you can here. You might need to soften the knees slightly. 2, don't strain anything. Just keep breathing. 3, 4, 5. Exhale there, releasing, crossing the ankles. Hands flat down to jump or step back, moving through a vinyasa. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. sliding along so we can see Urdhva Mukha Paschimottanasana, but we need to jump through straight legs, lie down. Same as the previous posture, we need to take the feet back behind us, but this time taking the sides of the feet nice and gentle on the neck. Just fully exhale there before you inhale, roll up. Lift the chest away from the legs as you look to the toes, and then we exhale, and now you can see that highlighted, folding into Urdhva Mukha Paschimottanasana for 1 breath. 2, eventually looking up towards the toes. 3, 4, literally meaning upward facing forward bend. 5 breaths. And then we inhale for a breath and take the chest away from the feet, keep looking up still, and then we exhale and release the posture to move through our vinyasa. So inhale, lifting up, exhale, jump a step back, moving through upward facing dog, and then down facing dog. The last posture of this primary series is Setu Bandhasana. So we're jumping and stepping through to lie down flat, to prepare by walking the feet about 1/3 of the way in, heels touch, feet out to the side. Full posture is to cross the arms in front of the chest and lift up. So take it steady. You might do a variation here for 1 breath. Just make sure the neck is happy. Strong legs. 2. Keep breathing. 3. 4. 5, and exhale, coming down. And again, as we come out of the posture, lying on our back, so the option of Chakrasana, the backward rolling vinyasa, if you wish, demonstrated here. Flick the hands forwards so you get on your mat as you lower down, and then inhale, upward facing dog, and exhale, downward facing dog. Now in this practice, we are just doing the primary series postures, so we miss out the last 2 lines and go all the way to the bottom left-hand corner. The last line is the finishing postures. So we lie down on our back, and then we prepare for Urdhva Dhanurasana. So we walk the feet in. The full posture, you can do modification if you want to do bridge postures to hit the hands by the head and lift up into the upward facing bow posture for 5 breaths. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 breaths. Try and keep the breath as steady as you can here. 5. And we exhale, come down. Just rest there on the head. If you want to walk the hands in a bit, we're doing this 3 times. 3 times 5 breaths, you can see there. So this is the second one. That's 1 breath. Try and feel like you're moving your chest back a little bit. Strong legs. 2. Just let the head hang. 3. Try and keep the hips lifting upwards. 4. And 5. And then exhale, just come down for a few breaths. You don't have to walk the hands in. You might just be happy where you are. Try and keep the feet parallel as you can. And the last one, to inhale, lifting up and breathing. 1. Try and keep the breath as steady as you can here. 2. And if that's not possible, it might be advisable just to back off a little bit. 3. Or even come down out of the posture early. 4. Try and take one more nice steady breath in through the nose and out through the nose. It's 5. And we exhale, come down. Now we're moving on a few postures here because the next set of postures are for the intermediate series. So we're just going to skip on a couple. The next one we need to line up with is Paschimottanasana. But the option of doing the Chakrasana backward roll to get there, to move through a vinyasa, is upward facing dog. And then exhale, downward facing dog. And then ready for Paschimottanasana, jumping or stepping through. So this is similar to the first seated posture of this series, where we inhale, reach forward for toes or whatever feels appropriate, and exhale, fold forward. But try and just relax here a little bit more. And we're here for 10 breaths. So that's 1. It's a really great counter stretch for the previous posture. 2. That's 3. Just let the neck be soft. That's 4. Just try and relax here. 5. Still a little bit of awareness to the legs. 6. So the legs are together, the toes up towards the ceiling. 7. 8. 9. 10. Inhale, coming up, look to the toes. exhale. Now we take a vinyasa here, so we inhale, lift up, exhale, jump or step back, lowering down, inhale, upward facing dog, exhale, downward facing dog, and then jumping through to Salamba Sarvangasana. So we lie down first, keep the body nice and active, and then inhale, lift up into the shoulder stand for 10 breaths. So there you can see it. And the next few postures are all linked. We don't do vinyasas in between, so it's a series of movements. But 10 breaths here is 1. Make sure the shoulders feel comfortable supporting you. 2, 3. Make sure the neck is happy. 4 breaths. If you need to back off or come down, you can. 5. And these are the inverted postures now at the end of this series. 6. So again, just make sure it feels appropriate for you to be doing this. A few more breaths here is 7. 8. 9. 10. So we move straight into Halasana. So the legs come down. If it's possible to interlace the fingers with straight arms down on the mat behind you, you can. That's 1. An option could be to keep the support in the back with the hands. It's 2. Try and really push into the toes to keep the legs active. 3. Make sure the neck is happy. 4. So the shoulders are really supporting us here still. 5. This next set of postures is for 8 breaths. 6, so a couple more to go here in Halasana, plow posture. 7, 8, sliding straight along into Karnapadasana and straight down into it, knee press posture. So the knees either side of the ears. 1, 2, 3. Try and keep the hips gently lifting up towards the ceiling. 4, 5. Eventually here the feet are together and the heels together. 6. Remember, you could be supporting the back if you prefer. 7, 8. We lift up just for 1 breath all the way up to shoulder stand. And then here we take the legs into lotus if possible for Urdhva, upward facing Padmasana, upward facing lotus. With the hands on the knees. 1, 2. If you're finding it tricky to balance here, maybe you could have 1 hand on your back. 3. Then if you're not doing lotus, then you might have your legs just simply crossed. That's 4 breaths. 5 breaths. Just make sure the neck is happy. 6, 7. Just keep breathing. 8. And then we fold the lotus legs into Pindasana if possible, wrapping eventually around for 1. We could be doing this cross-legged and just taking the time for 2 breaths to feel balanced here. It's very easy to end up rolling out of this. 3. So just do what you can. 4. And as always, keep breathing. 5, 6, 7, and 8. We're moving straight on to Matsyasana, so no vinyasa here. Keep the legs in lotus if possible, lift the chest. And if you're in lotus, you might be able to take the hands onto the feet. 1 breath. We need to take a variation here. That's 2 breaths. You could just have the legs just nice, easy crossed. That's 3, in which case you maybe have your hands on your thighs. 4, make sure the neck is not compressed though. 5, this is a nice counter stretch to the previous postures though. 6, 7, 8, and then we just move straight along. So it's a little easier to follow these next few postures through in a line. Uttana Padasana for 1, 2, straight legs, straight arms. 3, 4. You could do this just lying flat down on your back. 5 if it feels a bit more easier that way. 6, but eventually the same lift as in the previous posture, Matsyasana. 7, And after 8, for the final time, you've got that option of the backward rolling vinyasa chakrasana to move through, or you could just roll up to take the vinyasa upward facing dog. Worth moving through some of the vinyasa to get to this position, down facing dog, to prepare now, coming onto your knees for Shirshasana, where we interlace the fingers, elbows shoulder distance apart, head goes down, and then walk the feet in. And you could either stay here, but eventually the full posture lifting up into the full headstand. So the toes point up towards the ceiling. And that's 1. And you're just trying to hold it nice and steady for 15 breaths. 2, make sure most of the weight is going down through the forearms. So the head is on the mat, but not pressed down too much. 3, 4, so the neck feels comfortable. Keep breathing, steady breaths. 5, 6, 7. And at any point, if you do need to come down, you can just move directly into child's pose. You can see that a few postures on. That's 8 breaths. 9. So 10 breaths, 5 to go if possible. Just keep breathing. 11. 12. 13. 14. Well done. After 15 breaths. Now half bend if you can manage Shirshasana B position. 1. 2. You want to see if you can aim for the legs parallel to the ground. 3 with the toes pointing away. 4. Just hold it for as long as you can. 5. Keep the breath steady. 6. 7. Keep using the forearms to press the mat away from you. 8. Nearly there. 9. And after 10 breaths, we inhale, lift up. You can see that just for a breath there, 1 breath. And then we exhale, come back down. But you may already now be here as we slide along, and you can see Balasana. And it says rest here for a couple of minutes at least. The eyes are closed. You can either keep the hands, fingers interlaced, or maybe you can see there I've got in the picture the arms stretched out. But this is a resting posture. So just sink into it and keep breathing. So as we come out of this, we can just step the feet back and lower down. Easy then to move through the upward facing dog and the down facing dog. Jumping or stepping through for the last 3 postures. And eventually the legs are in full lotus, right leg first then left, and then wrapping the arms left then right behind. If you can reach for the toes, a nice inhale here. This is Baddha Padmasana, Yoga Mudra. Exhale, falling forwards for 10 breaths. So that's 1. If you're not in lotus, just half lotus or cross leg. 2, and you could just hold the arms behind the back. 3, if that feels more appropriate. 4, just gently falling forwards, eventually kind of chin towards the mat or the ground. 5, 6 breaths. Just hold it steady wherever you are. 7, 8, 9, 10. Inhale coming up. Now no vinyasa for these last 3 postures. So moving straight into Padmasana, the classic yogic posture, straightening the back as best you can, straight arms, and then the chin tucks down. 1 breath. Now the instruction here often is to breathe slower breaths. So that's 2. So you don't want to hold your breath. You just want to breathe in through the nose a little bit longer. Out through the nose a little bit longer is 3. But whatever feels appropriate for this steadier breathing here. 4. Try and keep sitting up nice and tall. 5. The eyes are open, but the gaze is just downcast. Feeling the back of the hands close to the knees. 6 breaths. And the hand position where the thumb and the first finger touching together and the remaining 3 fingers active, pointing down towards the ground. That's 7 breaths. Keep the face relaxed, the mouth closed. Breathe in through the nose, keep breathing in. Breathe out through the nose, keep breathing out is 8. Couple more nice, long, steady breaths. That's 9. And 10. So taking the hands straight down by the sides for Uplutihi and doing what you can to press down and lift up for 10 breaths. That's 1. If you're not doing this in lotus, half lotus will do, or cross leg, 2. If your feet are on the floor, don't worry about that either, but do keep pressing the hands down. 3. Knees slightly lifted in the full posture. 4. Just gaze straight ahead and keep breathing. Don't hold the breath. 5. Breathe in through the nose, out through the nose. 6. Couple more breaths. If you come down, just see if you can lift back up for a few more. 7. Keep focusing. 8. 9. One more breath in. One more breath out. Well done. 10. And exhale, come back down. So we take a vinyasa here to come up to standing. So we jump or step back, releasing the legs, maybe from lotus if possible, if not, uncross them first, and then inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Now to come to standing, we jump or step the feet through, head up, a little bit like a sun salutation. Exhale, head down, but don't lift the arms above the head, hands by sides, and then straight into prayer for the closing chant. Swasti Prajabhiha Paripale Yantam Nyayena Margena Mahim Mahishaha Go Brahmani Bhyaha Shubhamastu Nityam Loka Samasta Sukhinu Bhuvantu Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hands by sides. And we take one more vinyasa. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, falling down. Let the head go. Inhale, head up. Exhale, jump or step back, elbows into lower down. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. And then inhale, jumping or stepping through. Separate the legs, lie down, take the arms a little bit wider, and relax here with the eyes closed, completely let go. And you want to be here about 10 minutes at least in our very last posture, Shavasana. So well done for making it this far. Enjoy a well-deserved rest.